And it's always men versus women, black versus white, conservative versus liberal, and race. It's just, they pit us against each other. And meanwhile, both party leaders and the establishment is stealing our money, and they're serving their own interests. And that's the politics of it. And for those of you that don't know, Parler, because everyone was taken off of Twitter, there was 3 different rounds of purges. And I'm not kidding you guys. These are Americans, normal, as normal as we are, you and I here, that wake up and have now no ability to contact society because they're locked down in a pandemic. I mean, I'm in Michigan. We're still locked down. My kids are still remote learning. I fear that I won't be able to talk to you guys. And it could happen, it's a reality. And Greg, you can speak to that. I think people should understand what's happening. So maybe explain that a little more.
Yeah. I guess I'll start off. I have been in small town community journalism for over 16 years now. And newspapers are going out of business left and right because of Facebook and Google, because they control the digital advertising. And a recent poll of Americans showed that 70% of people get their news from Facebook. And when Facebook is heavily censoring posts, that's a big problem. And, this article I did right after a sentencing hearing, talks, it is a conversation with 2 local residents that went to Washington, D.C., and their experience was nothing like you saw that's being shown on TV.
None of it. Story isn't being shown properly, and 75 million Americans weren't at the Capitol that day. Let me make it clear. I think what happened at the Capitol is tragic. I do believe it was an insurrection, but I think that it's projection, and this is just my opinion, unpopular as it may be. And I can't shut up about, I can't lie. They're almost making, when they take away your ability to have different language, that is, that's how they live in China. What's the leader of Russia, the opposition leader that was rising up? I forget his name, that was poisoned this last year, like in the past few months, right? He has spoken out saying what's happening here is terrifying with the censorship. I believe, how is it not a national security threat that the leader of the free world for the last, 9 days he's in office is able to speak to the people he's there to protect and serve? And not just that, but look at all the other politicians that have been taken offline. Yeah. Devin Nunes.
But when 90% of mainstream media is part of one viewpoint and some say one agenda, you're not going to see that. They're not going to show the outrage. They lumped in all pro-Trump supporters into terrorists now.
And the ABC, a high up at ABC broadcasting said that Trump supporters should be cleansed. Are you kidding me? Why are we impeaching? I saw a quote today. I should read it to you guys. But what's happening right now is the people that voted, the 81 million people that voted for President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, were promised Medicare for all. We're promised these things that they won't even vote on because they are impeaching this president because they don't want him to ever be able to run again. And like him or hate him, they're not working for the American people. It took Nancy Pelosi, she denied stimulus for us for the 8 months. I mean, this is facts, you know, but she drafted a second impeachment, article of impeachment in 5 days. It's just unbelievable. And they're not serving their voters. And, you know, a lot of voters are pissed, and it's scary times.
Yeah. They're supposed to vote on that impeachment in the House on Wednesday. And
it's like panic. It seems like, why, you know, it just, something seems off right now. And I think I think a lot of things are going to be declassified on Trump's way out, you know, and hopefully they are, because the truth belongs with the people.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised after he's out, they don't try to go after him criminally for some trumped up, excuse the pun, charges.
And we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why is it that everybody, the biggest coordinated effort, this isn't, you know, I mean, I don't disagree. I don't agree with everything Trump says. I certainly always don't disagree with him. He's the only one that's listened. He's the only one that's listened and done things that are good. I mean, you guys, in March of 2020, Americans, I think it was a poll, and it was actually listed on MSNBC that 79% Americans had never been better. You know, it's like, it just seems like maybe a lot of their dirty secrets are their agenda. And that could be, you know, conspiratorial, but I mean, how can we not be conspiratorial? They've lied to us about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, that was a quote I got from our prosecutor who went to Washington. He said, I went up there to observe, because when you're not getting the full story from the mainstream media, that's a problem. And it really is. And I just see it getting worse.
And it seems that they know. Well, they do know. I mean, let's face it. I think that I don't think it's this big giant like conspiracy where they talk on the phone. I think it's that there are certain reporters that are obviously Jeff Zuck. You know, they are working on behalf of the China Communist Party, and now the president's unable to go anywhere. Not Snapchat, not Instagram, not Facebook. I mean, that's a national security threat. And don't be surprised, America, if the Insurrection Act is signed or has been signed. Don't let it scare you. You know, whatever happens, happens. I mean, we have the other big story no one's talking about. You know, it's kind of what's happening that they're not talking about. You know what I mean? And they have 180 days from a few weeks ago to disclose everything they have on, you know, unidentified aerial phenomena. And that was passed in the omnibus. That's something that people don't know. So shit's like going to hit the fan, you know? And I feel like it's a good thing. We're going to know what happened. Hopefully, you know, the rest of what's the report called for JFK, but, I think that's when we're going to heal. I just want everyone to stay strong. And if you hear that there are Trump supporters, violent and armed in all 50 states or any of 50 states, all I would say is look closer, because everything isn't what it seems. And I wish I could share more of that on the channel, and I have a little bit. But like I said, if I could be gone tomorrow, guys, this channel. And so when they take away your right to speak to each other during a global lockdown, what are they hiding? It's just not, it's not natural, right? We got to trust what we see with our own two eyes.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Exactly.
You know,
power of question.
Because there's nothing more dangerous than being uneducated about crucial issues. So yeah, ask questions. There's no question that's stupid. If you don't know about something, ask it. But but check multiple sources too.
Right, like you look at both, you know, because the media. I mean, it is hard, but I want to do this. I'm going to do a story on this. I have, and this is I'm just going to say this on the record in case I ever have to go in front of a judge one day and give an argument as to why I shouldn't have been removed from the YouTube Partner Program and I'm not violating terms of service. I am just here trying to connect and help any way I can, losing my mind during a global lockdown here in Michigan. My kids are losing their minds. This is my only outlet to society. And I'm not trying to spread disinformation or do no harm. I'm trying to have a discussion about the state of our union with fellow Americans, right? And so I just have to put that on the record because I'm scared my channel's going to be ruined,
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is a tech giant too. So.
Oh yeah, that's my boss technically. Yeah. I'm trying to earn back the call with Garrett because if he wants to talk, I think it was like $445, and I'm not far away. I think I've made like with ads, with monetizing here, I think I've made like $396 total. But yeah, they and I don't go live a lot, but I know that was worth it, and I'll make that back over time. But I just worry. I don't want to let it silence me though, because people are really, really scared about what's going on right now. I just look closer and ask questions, right? I'm glad you that you came on. That's so awesome. I really didn't think you'd even consider it, but I'm glad I sent you this link.
Oh yeah,
Nancy for her laptop and vodka, Miss Glass says. Can I just say real quick, the funniest thing ever on Twitter is that the patriots that are left, and a lot of the progressives too, and Glenn Greenwald, he is, do you not agree, Gregory? I mean, as a journalist, he is speaking truth to power,
Oh, definitely. And I'm not a political person. I personally don't agree with the two-party system that the United States have, and I think that is a huge reason why the country's so divided and polar right now. I wish there wasn't political parties that would get rid of a lot of our issues and people voted for the person and what they are saying instead of the letter by their name.
And demand something for your vote. The fact that I put a video up of Jimmy Dore, the Jimmy Dore show, and people are pissed, and it for once right now, if Trump, before he can leave, if he can just give us the truth and restore our faith, I guess, in the FBI and Department of Justice, because without anybody being held accountable for 2016 and Durham, Durham that's the biggest true crime story of the century, guys. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't realize that, but when people are saying one side is doing one thing, it seems as though the consistent pattern in the past year has been that it's the total opposite, Yeah. And Jim Comey and John Brennan and Jim Clapper and there's Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. I mean, what they did to this country, this is why we're here right now. One half of the country thinks that Donald Trump's a Russian agent and was an illegitimate president for 4 years. And now the other half of the country thinks the election was hijacked. And, there's really solid argument and science about just the censorship and the algorithms from big tech alone, that changed. I won't cite the number, but like 5 million votes. There's reason to question why we weren't told Hunter Biden was under, two serious investigations. And it's not Republican or Democrat. It's like, I feel like the Clinton machine is what needs to leave Washington, and more everyday people like myself. Truly, I think about it often. As dirty as politics is, I think that it's time we run. And I think that everyday Americans that just want our civil liberties and, peace, will be elected. That's the optimist in me.
Yeah. And, I think anything that is considered a political machine should be gone. I fully believe in term limits. That's the only way you get rid of that. Because once you're in there, you're not working for the people anymore. You're working to get reelected and to get more money to be reelected.
Yep, and we got to take the money out of politics too. It's just so dirty. But when we get these echo chambers, what's the quote about people that are suppressing the speech? Like people say Donald Trump's a dictator. If he was a dictator, he wouldn't be banned on Twitter, and everything else. It's the other way around, right?
No, right. If true dictators hold all the power, and we know that's not the case here in America. I'm a big evidence guy, so if, there's a scandal, I want to see the evidence. But when you're not getting true reporting, you're getting censorship, and you're getting companies that tell the reporters you're reporting on this and not that. Yeah. You don't get that. You do not get that.
It's our basic, it's what keeps this republic a republic. Supreme Court Justice William Douglas said, restriction of free thought and free speech is the most dangerous of all subversions. It is the one un-American act that could most easily defeat us. And it's, what's the good part is that it seems like the actual people that aren't in, the DC, New York, California loop, it seems like people are waking up, I guess, but drug, it's an interesting story, an interesting interview you had. And I want to share more of, I'll get those links from you. And, I'll post on my community tab your stories. I want to break some big news, Project Veritas is a pretty cool movement going on. I don't know what you think about that approach, but it seems like people need the truth, what they fear the most, the establishment is being exposed.
And personally, I don't know a lot about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, sorry. I could go on and on, but, well, thanks so much, Gregory, for coming on. We'll see what news drops. Maybe you can reach out, see if they want to comment, again for me. Appreciate it. And,
I knew with the state police, they would give their typical, a statement, I do wish there was more information that could be released. But maybe you also don't
on the phone. Yeah. Because you might not get a comment, but you'll definitely get some energy,
Sure. And you could tell a lot more in someone's voice when they respond than via email.
100%. And I want to read your story. So I will get with you tomorrow. And everybody that's here, thanks so much for being here. Check out.
It was a pleasure.
And for everyone that's listening, this is Gregory Myers, and he wrote that wonderful article. I put a video up earlier today, so you'll have to check that out. And you're local, so we're gonna.
I'm about 50 minutes from Delphi.
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm so glad that I sorry I messed everything up. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But yeah, for everybody that's listening, I will check out that article. The link is in the description and I'll share it too. And we're gonna talk again soon, I promise.
I would love that.
All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. Everybody have a good night, okay? And Greg, I'll talk to you this week.
All right.
All
Sounds great. You have a great week.
You too. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.